Thank you, Madam President. Prime Minister, Ms. Kallas, welcome to the European Parliament where you belong. The criminal attack by Putin has held up a mirror to us of our own strengths and weaknesses as a European Union. The wavering that we have traditionally shown towards the Kremlin contrasts with the forceful measures that have been taken since the outbreak of the war, in particular the agreement on economic sanctions and the change in our asylum policy, which is a contrast to the shameful closure of borders against the Syrians in 2015. In a few days, we have taken a gigantic step along the path to becoming a global power. Once again, we have proof that the European Union is forged under the impact of crises, and the time has now come to take critical stock of ourselves, to learn from our mistakes. Never again should we sacrifice human rights for gas. It is necessary to create strategic reserves of gas, to jointly purchase it and connect the Iberian Peninsula to make it a centre of storage, regasification, distribution of liquid national gas. This is imperative and urgent. Imposing levies on electricity companies who do not invest in renewables is also an imperative necessity, because every euro that we invest in green energy reduces our strategic vulnerability. We also need a roadmap to correct the mistakes that we made in the refugee crisis of 2015. We need to activate the directive on temporary protection, which obliges member states to provide shelter, food, education, health and work to refugees. So now we have to agree on a fair distribution of refugees and establish a proper mechanism for reception. This is an opportunity to design a new migration policy which is based this time on responsibility and solidarity. We also have to prepare to support the Ukrainian population. We never wanted a war. Putin is the sole responsible for this. Today, the weapons which are helping a free Ukraine to survive are the very weapons that the Second Spanish Republic did not have 80 years ago because of the failure of European democracies to act. In this tragic moment for the Ukrainian army, we have to supply weapons to help them defend innocent men, women and children. Their safety is our safety, because nobody in Europe is going to be safe if Putin has his way. The killing of civilians violates the rules of war laid down in the Geneva Conventions, and it is a matter of urgency for the United Nations to organize humanitarian corridors, and the International Criminal Court has to move ahead in investigating Putin as a war criminal. In its mediating role, China must set aside its ambiguity and offer tangible action to guarantee peace. The solution to the cowardly aggression of Putin cannot be the surrender of Ukraine or the amputation of any of its territory. Any concession to Putin, we have to say loud and clear to Putin that any democratic European state has the right to become a member of the European Union, including Ukraine. It is now time for us to express our absolute support to the Baltic countries and all countries who have borders with Ukraine and Russia. We have seen for ourselves, I have seen for myself, the strength of solidarity on the border between Ukraine and Hungary, the admirable work of the Red Cross and those unsung volunteers who are providing the immediate needs, covering the immediate needs of refugees arriving at our borders. We have to use this solidarity shown by our citizens to give us a stronger sense of European identity and move forward in fighting against tyrants like Putin. The time has come that we should stop asking ourselves what the European Union can do for us, but what we can do for the European Union.
Nathalie Loiseau.